As the supply chain industry evolves, what are companies having to respond to? Joining us today to speak about that, Wonil Gregg, Vice President, Customer Engagement at DCPerform. Wonil, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Wonil, if we look at the evolution of the industry, the supply chain industry over, say, the last 3 years, been some interesting things taking place. Interesting things that companies have had to respond to. Let's talk first about customer experience, customer expectations. What's going on there?
Faster, better, easier. They want it sooner, they want it easier to order, and they also want it the way that they want it. Oh, it would be nice to return it whenever we want as well.
Well, let's develop that just a little bit, because that has clearly meant that there are pressures on entities that need to be fulfilling these orders. Certainly the volume of orders has just shot up incredibly. So what are some of the issues and challenges that companies have had to face because of that?
It comes down to supply and demand, constrained resources, between labor issues, between availability of freight routes, between raw materials and the sourcing, between the tier 1, tier 2, and 3 providers, from raw materials all the way up through finished product, then ultimately being able to process those orders and cycle times that meet the customer demand.
And you know, when you look at what's been going on in supply chain ever since the lockdown, where e-commerce has just shot through the roof, the orders have just been, huge. There's been a capacity crunch on people who are trying to fulfill those orders. Walk us through that. How are they dealing with that?
Everybody speaks about robotics and automation, and that's really important, but we've noticed a phenomena just recently, especially as Amazon is starting to cut back now. The labor issues that used to exist just a few months ago, where people would go from one company to another for 50 cents more per hour, that now culture matters, and the sense that what they do and having a purpose matters. So if companies can have these cultures that make people feel valued, that reward and incent them for superior performance, then that's a good way to offset those labor issues. Of course, robotics is the way of the future, and as is automation to improve cycle times and also address labor. But still, ultimately, it comes down to a management team that understands how to inspire workers to be able to perform their best and want to stay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's fair to say there's been a generational change in purchasing behavior. So I wonder if you might speak to that, Wonil. The companies clearly have had to respond to that. What are they doing?
So we think of when we were in our 20s and 30s, it was go to the store and buy. And the ways that we were reached through printed media and through television and radio was how we heard of what was available. In today's world, with social media and the availability of technology to identify who the right buyers are and to go find them, this is a phenomenon of the new generation. And with that comes a different way and approach that they look at their buying experience. And ultimately, being able to find what they want in a format that they can consume and understand, and then having that great experience, that wow factor when that product arrives that says, this is where I want to have brand loyalty and I'm going to continue shopping with them, or I'll simply go somewhere else.
Sure. Well, I know that DCPerform is a company that has witnessed how the industry has evolved and witnessed how companies in it have had to modify, change their own behavior, etc. But for the benefit of anybody who's watching the video who does not know about DCPerform, what you do, talk about the company briefly. What's your focus and how are you optimizing the operations of your client base? What do you say?
Thanks for asking, Russell. We are strategic and tactical advisory for logistics and supply chain executives. When we say that, we're talking about how should you be able to provide a great customer experience for the end customer. So think of it as B2B to C. We look at through the lens of the end customer and what their expectations are when they buy, and then enable our customers to be able to deliver that through great warehouse design, through applying the appropriate warehouse automation, robotics, and also providing the cost justification that says the return on investment there, but most importantly, where's the speed to value? How can we accelerate that value proposition? And that's where we come to once we design the solution, the sourcing of it and finding the available materials and technologies to provide it, and then deliver it within budget and timeline that our customers can then say, this is the solution we need to create that great experience.
Great information there that you just shared with us. Wonil, I know you're busy here at the conference, but you found time to sit down and speak with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Russell. It's been a pleasure.
It's Wonil Gregg, DCPerform, speaking with us today about the industry, how it has been evolving, and what companies are doing to respond to those changes. Thanks for watching.